Hello, and welcome to this Deloitte Skills session on Graduate to Business Writing. We'll be providing insight into how to adapt to writing for a business environment, whether that's writing an email or creating content for a presentation. The style and structure of academic writing is very different from the style and structure you need in the workplace. In this session, we'll focus on how you can find your own unique business voice and bring it out in your written communications. And before we get started, I want to run through how you can get the best out of this session. There are downloadable event resources below the video which you will find useful to refer to post this session. And at different points, I'll suggest you pause the video to work on questions or for self-reflection. And you'll get the most out of this session by doing this. You will also find a transcription of this session in the drop-down section below my video if required. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope you find this session to be useful. So we'll give you an introduction to the session today. I will talk you through the KISS principle and what it stands for. I will then talk through Pitch It Perfectly, our business writing do's and don'ts. We will then talk about how to engage your reader immediately. We will then talk you through the SCRAP formula and what it stands for. And then we have a section on beating procrastination and our top tips for this. And I'll then talk to you about the next steps. Simple language is easier to understand and also easier to remember. Complex language works well in an academic environment where we're required to write essays that often utilize complex and subject-specific language. However, in the business world, we want to be mindful of the language we use, especially when it comes to jargon others may not be familiar with. When we're trying to communicate complex ideas to clients or colleagues, it's always better to be direct and speak in a straightforward manner. So first, I want to introduce you to the KISS principle. On this slide, please select which answer you think is the correct definition of the acronym KISS when writing business. Is it A, keep it super simple, B, keep it short and sweet, C, keep it simple, sir, or is it D, keep it short and simple? You can pause the video here if you need more time to consider your answer. The correct definition of the KISS principle acronym for business writing is keep it short and simple. Einstein said everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simple. When writing for business, here are a few points to consider. Make short, simple words your first choice. They are the most powerful and attention-grabbing. It's easy to think that long words can make you sound smarter or more important, but why waste time and energy having to translate short, simple words into long, complicated words that not everyone may understand? And then the reader having to translate the long, complicated words back into the short, simpler words to help them to understand and take in what I've written. For example, if I were to say there were consultations concerning remuneration, this sounds very complex and formal. I don't have to make this sound long and complicated when all I wanted to say was there were talks about pay. This is short and simple and easy to understand. Your good ideas will shine brightest when they're explained with straightforward language. And you don't have to use short words all the time. There may be time when you need to use longer words or technical jargon if it's right for the reader. But always make sure they move your reader towards your meaning effectively. In business writing, it's useful to know how to shorten and simplify a sentence. To help you put this idea into practice, I want you to look at this sentence. Our toothpaste will make your teeth cleaner and brighter and ultimately give you a happier life. Imagine you the marketer who needs to find a simple message for promoting a toothpaste. Is every word here needed? If not, what can be removed? Is there a simpler word that could be used? And how can you leave a lasting impact on the reader with your promotional line? Pause the video here and try to come up with a way of trying to shorten this promotional sentence. I've managed to shorten the sentence to promote this toothpaste to this: for a cleaner, brighter, happier life. Now, by shortening the sentence, I've made it so my professional line will be easier for the reader to remember, and this means my message won't be lost in overly long, complicated sentences. So how many times have you read an email or article that's full of words, abbreviations, acronyms? Do you find yourself having to look them up? I often find myself having to look up acronyms in languages I go, and so do people all around the world. It's a common issue that arises when complicated language is used. Whilst some jargon is necessary and specific to an industry, it doesn't mean everyone can understand it. It's important to make sure your message doesn't get lost under layers of jargon and complex language. Over the next 3 slides, there are 3 questions around business writing emails that I'd like you to answer. Question 1. Which of the following would you not use to start a business email to someone you haven't spoken to before? Is it A, hey, B, hello, C, good morning? Please select which of those answers you would not use. And again, if you need to pause the video here, please do so. And the correct answer is A, which is hey. A greeting like hey is what you would call an informal greeting, which isn't appropriate for someone you haven't met before and it may come across as being overly familiar. You may feel more comfortable using hey as you become more acquainted with the person you're talking to, but again, it all depends on your working relationship. Question 2 then, which of the following would you check before sending a business email? A, the spelling of the recipient's name. B, job title of the recipient. C, the attachments. D, spelling and grammar. Or E, all of the above. Please select your answer, and again, if you need to pause the video here, please do so. The correct answer is E, all of the above. The list covers a few things you might check off before sending a business email. This list also applies when sending emails at school, college, or university. There's been many times when I've sent an email without attaching the attachment when there should have been one. I've also received emails where either the spelling of my name is incorrect or there's been the wrong name used. These mistakes can come across as unprofessional, and you'll always allow yourself time to check the emails thoroughly before sending. And question 3, which of the following subject line headings would you use for a business email? And you can choose more than one answer here. So, hi, meeting agenda, guaranteed, great to see you at the speed networking last night, workshop reminder, graduate to business writing, or free coffee for career advice. Again, I recommend pausing the video here if you need more time to consider your answers. Now, of the 6 listed, there are 2 that I would avoid. I won't use answer A, which is hi. That doesn't give the reader any information on what my email might be about. And if they have 100 emails to read, this email is unlikely to be read first due to the lack of information in the subject line. And I would also avoid using answer C, guaranteed. I'm sure many of you would have received an email with a subject line like this, the use of all capital letters and the word guaranteed. It gave me the impression this email was spam, and so I wouldn't even bother opening it, probably delete it straight away. The other subject lines give me more information. By putting great to see you at the speed networking last night, I'm already communicating how we know each other. The recipient may see my email address and not recognize it, but because I've mentioned that we've met in person at a speed networking event, they may now remember me and proceed to read my emails. Always consider your reader and the information they're looking for when writing in your subject line.